What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Daddy's to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today I have a very unexpected surprise. I'm going to be talking about the classic anime movie named Metropolis. Now, this was this was not planned to happen until literally a few hours ago, before I saw this movie. So, just for a little bit of context and background of this movie, because it has a lot of layers. And I guess before I get into all that, as always, here at Daddy's to Talk, I talk about fatherhood and family, manga, anime, TV shows, movies, and some video games. So if you enjoy that, check out my other stuff. But for now, we're going to be talking about Metropolis. So, like I said, this movie is so it's produced by Studio Madhouse. It originally came out in 2001 and it is loosely based off. It is a mix adaptation, which I'll get into that in a second, based off of Osamu Tezuka, the father, the grandfather of anime who created Astro Boy back in the day. It's based off of a manga that he created back in 1949. So today is Wednesday the 8th, no, November 6th. Um, and it was the only free evening I have this week because literally my kids, between my three oldest kids, there's literally one to two, if not three, basketball games every day this week: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so today was the only day that I had a free time. So I was like, you know what? I kind of been wanting to see a movie, hadn't gotten out in a few weeks. Was just scrolling through, just seeing what stuff was available. And obviously, the image for this caught my attention because it's a anime cover. It's not the one that I'm showing on screen, but it was a different one. But still, an anime cover art on a theater lineup catches your attention. So I clicked on it, and it said from 2001, Studio Madhouse, all the details or whatever. And for my area up here in my section of DFW, there was only one location, one time slot that they were showing it. Well, no, there were some other locations, but for me, there was a close. This was the closest one at this one time slot, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go just see it or whatever. And this movie is truly the definition of what I would call a timeless classic, because the fact that in 2024 I'm watching a movie from 2001 based off of a manga from 1949 and it still hit says a lot. So, to the point I mentioned earlier about this being a loose adaptation of the manga, so apparently there is a German film uh, also named Metropolis that came out in like 1940, 1927. That when the anime was being when this animated movie was being made, uh, they took some bits from the manga, but also took some inspiration from some of the stuff from the original German film to create this adaptation. So this isn't a one to one adaptation of that original manga, but all that to say, the basic plot and stuff of this is that so it takes place kind of futuristic city and stuff, and this kind of dystopian city named Metropolis, where there's a lot of robots and stuff, and of course there's a lot of hate and distaste for robots and stuff by humans because of course they're taking their jobs and all this stuff, and it's kind of crazy thinking about all the different themes and topics touched on this movie, whatever, from back even just 2001 and then back in 49 when the manga came out, and seeing how all that stuff kind of plays into kind of like where the world and stuff has gone in our current timeline and current day and stuff now. But yeah, so that's kind of like the setup for the world, and the story basically revolves around there is a he's like a newspaper writer, like detective guy, and his nephew come from Japan to the city looking for this doctor to arrest him or whatever. Um, and they end up getting intertwined into this bigger thing going on because this doctor that they're looking for, this doctor scientist dude, whatever, um, has been secretly tasked by this guy who is basically kind of like a Duke Red, who is Metropolis's wealthiest citizen and is celebrating the completion of a massive military science complex called the Ziggurat. And so he has tasked this doctor with creating this basically like a android, so to speak, that seemingly might look like maybe a daughter he lost or something like that. If I'm remembering that part correctly. But anywho, so things happen because I'm not going to go into every single plot detail, but some things happen, and the detective's nephew ends up with the robot girl after an incident happens that leads to the doctor being killed and the lab being set ablaze or whatever. And throughout this movie, you're just kind of following the uncle and his like detective robot buddy that they picked up when they got to the city when they were trying to track down the doctor and stuff, and then they're working together trying to figure out what's going on with that, and then you have the nephew Kenichi on the run with the robot girl named Tima. And so all in all, it is just like a high stakes sci-fi drama that I don't know, man. It was just it was good. On a basic point, it was a good movie to watch. And like I said, just like seeing all the different things unfold, and you also have this character named Rock, who he's kind of like this head of like this like I don't know what to call it, kind of like a militia group or something of that nature. Uh, yeah, okay, yeah, a vigilante paramilitary organization known as the Marduks, and they are tasked with destroying malfunctioning and rogue robots, and they are under the control of that Duke Red guy. And so this Rock dude, or a kid, I should say, uh, he was kind of taken in by Duke Red back in the day, whatever. And so he has undying loyalty to to Duke Red, and he's kind of the catalyst for a lot of the ongoing drama that happens throughout the movie and stuff. To where he is kind of like a person to where it's like, dude, like, why won't this guy go away? It's like every time you think they might have gotten rid of him, he keep popping back up until the freaking very end. But but yeah, so it's just like this, like I said, like this mystery portion of it with the detective, the Kenichi and Tima on the run. You got the Rock dude trying to chase them down, and then you also got Duke Red with his overarching schemes for what he's trying to do, taking over the city and different things like that. And so all in all, like I gotta say, because like I mentioned earlier, this is by Studio Madhouse. This is definitely a high quality uh, classic in their bag. Because like I said, like they always do really solid work, and the fact that it just filled me with just a sense of nostalgia because this movie came out, I would have been 11 years old when this movie originally came out. So it definitely was not on my radar back then. And like I said, I literally had not heard of it until I was just scrolling through the Fandango movie app to see what was out and just happened to come across the movie poster and just decided to give it a shot. But yeah, visually, This movie is on point. It was kind of fun to see the way they doing like the old school, like the scene transitions and stuff like that or whatever. It just really put you in the mind frame of like, oh yeah, this is a movie from a certain point in time, but overall though visually it still looks good, even all these years later. And the other thing that I freaking loved about the movie was the music. The soundtrack was phenomenal. Especially there was one particular track because like a lot of the movie, or a lot of the music is kind of like real jazzy type of music. And so one of my favorite songs, and I always listen to this on the car ride home from the theater. Like as soon as I got in the car, I looked up Metropolis soundtrack and was playing it. And so like the kind of like the theme music for the Metropolis city, whatever, is called "There There'll Never Be Goodbye." And like the vocals and like the singing, like everything was just like on point with that song. And like I said, all across the movie, great music all across, but that theme just like really hit. And especially like they played it at the end throughout like the end credits and stuff, whatever. So I kind of was like one of the last few people sitting there throughout the credits, whatever, and just like taking in the music. Um, just because of how good the music and stuff was. But yeah, like I said, I don't have like a whole lot to say, but I just had to show some love and appreciation for this movie and to kind of also just encourage y'all out there if you can just hey sometimes just give stuff a chance. And this is kind of a reminder even for myself to just sometimes, hey, just scroll through, see what's out, and just go give a movie a shot. Because honestly, I was thinking about it because I saw it. I found it when I was at work or whatever, and so checking my wife, I was like, hey, yeah, we ain't got anything going on. I think I might want to go see this movie, or whatever. It's only in theaters just today. She was like, okay, cool. But I got home. I'm tired from work. I lay down in the bed. I'm like, man, you know what? Man, forget that movie. I don't need to see it. And then she was like, "Are you sure? Like you sounded so excited when you mentioned it earlier at work, or whatever." And then I was like, "You know what? Nah, I need to break out of just this funk of just lazing about." And I'm super happy that she gave me that extra little push um, to go and check out this movie because, yeah, it was definitely worth my time. It was maybe like a little over maybe like an hour 40 or so, hour 50, something like that. Um, Definitely well worth the time and stuff. So, but yeah. So, like I said, I don't have too much more to say. It would be interesting to try to check out the manga, but that's something you probably have to either just like find online somewhere because obviously this manga is long out of print. And I think Dark the Dark Horse Comics, they did like a re-release of it at some point in like the early 2000s, but of course that's also out of print at this point. But yeah, like I said, just wanted just to show some love to this movie. Um and I'd be interested to know if anybody out there have either what is this something that you either watched or read back in the day, or did you also maybe stumble across this movie just like I did? Because I know I guess like the timing maybe makes sense whatever because I was like this is like super random for this movie to come back, but apparently I think that Tezuka's birthday yeah, November 3rd, 1928. So yeah, so November 3rd, so his birthday was last week, and I think that's when they first put it back in theaters and stuff. So yeah, so that kind of makes sense. I guess they doing it for in honor of his birthday. But yeah, man, definitely go check this out. And I definitely would also say check out some other stuff as well. So another Not a direct thing from him, but his like DNA from like Astro Boy and stuff, whatever. Check out Pluto. That is on Netflix. That is a series. It is kind of like a modern retelling of Pluto in a sense from the author Naoki Urasawa, who did 20th Century Boys, which is one I keep behind me. 20th Century Boys and Monster and lots of other classics and stuff. That's one I recommend. I do want to check out. So there are some of his other works. A lot of his works, of course, have been getting brought back up in recent years. Like there's one called I think Phoenix Eden 17, Firebird, and lots of other stuff. So yeah. So there's plenty of other of his works to check out, both animation wise and also, like I said, manga for sure. But yeah. So with that being said, I think I'm gonna cut it off here. So, like I said, let me know what you thought of this. Like I said, if you've seen the movie or read the original manga, I would definitely be interested to hear some other viewpoints and stuff of it. Because, like I said, overall, from start to finish, I pretty much was locked in. Like I said, especially once that music started kicking in early on. So this is just a classic series that definitely deserves some love and recognition. Definitely deserves to not be forgotten. So hey, maybe if you see this in time and you see this in your local theater, maybe you find it online to watch or something, or whatever, check it out. So, but with that being said, as always, thank you so much for watching or listening. You can find me everywhere at Danny to Talk. And as I always say, treat yourself to something nice, read some manga, watch some anime, TV shows, movies, and of course, play some video games and live your best life. And with that, I am out. Y'all have an awesome day. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be easy. Peace.